forces its way into the red.
Fire Frank Vogel.
Wow. Man.
I am not advocating it by any stretch of the imagination. I like Frank Vogel. Frank Vogel has been a top-notch defensive mind in the NBA. I think that he's a champion with the Los Angeles Lakers. He's already delivered that, and I think he deserves the opportunity to continue going forward.
I'm going to pause that for a minute. See, I tell people like this and over again. It doesn't matter what coach the Lakers get. Because at the end of the day, they got to find somebody that fits LeBron's ego. That's it. Regardless if fans get upset, regardless if they get mad, I don't care. You got to find somebody to fit LeBron's ego. Vogel, at the end of the day, he was given the opportunity to coach 5 stars. All 5 stars have egos. Let's be honest. The only one that probably slighting their ego is probably Carmelo, based on the fact that he was basically sitting out for a year before the Blazers decided to bring him back in. But at the end of the day, you have Davis, you have LeBron, you have Westbrook, and you have Howard. These 4 guys have egos. Howard probably the next one after Carmelo that's a little bit humble, only for the fact that, he been shopped around a lot too. But you have LeBron, Davis, and Westbrook. So as a coach, you're put in a dilemma. How can I play these guys and at the same time get other players opportunities to play? Because I know for a fact Vogel would love to sit a couple of these players down. But he's not going to do it because why? They're stars. And at the end of the day, when things go wrong, it falls on the coach. Yes, we can argue that Vogel made some bad decisions when it came to rotation, timeouts, and other things. But at the same time, he's not the one on the floor playing. So the players are held just as accountable as much as the coach. But in this time and era, the coach is the one that's going to get the blame.
But these are the Lakers. This is Tinseltown. We're looking at LeBron James. 36 ain't getting any younger. We're looking at Russell Westbrook. 32 ain't getting any younger. We're looking at Anthony Davis. We've got questions about chemistry.
Oh, yes.
We've got questions about commitment and dedication.
Oh, yes.
We
Defense.
damn sure got questions about their defense, which has been ranked in the bottom 5 throughout this season.
Yes,
and
it
if
is.
you're asking me the question, if this continues, again, that's the caveat. Not right now, but if this continues, Frank Vogel, in my opinion, will not be the head coach of the Los Angeles Lakers come All-Star break.
It's already happened. LeBron has brought a championship to the Los Angeles Lakers. And you invest your roster in winning right now when you get a player in his 19th season. But you guys are right. And it takes a man to admit when I'm wrong. This team ain't winning the West. They've had the worst start possible for a team that had the easiest schedule in the NBA. Now they have the toughest schedule remaining. They're going to be below 4, which is 5 or lower, if and when they make the playoffs. This team ain't winning the West.
But they've a lot of time between now and then. They can make any number of moves. They can make a coaching change. They could try and turn over the roster.
They've already made the moves. Julius Randle.
Yeah.
Julius Randle.
Right.
Brandon Ingram. Lonzo Ball. Kyle Kuzma.
Pause. I made a video when the Lakers' young players were still there. And when the Lakers were trying to get Anthony Davis. And I said it. I said the Lakers are about to trade away all their assets for a Band-Aid. You know what a Band-Aid is, right? A Band-Aid is basically utilized just for that moment. Just for that moment. Once the sore is healed, that Band-Aid is no more, correct? So I said it. I said they're going to trade away all their young assets for Anthony Davis when they could have just waited the end of the season, which he would have been afraid at the same time. New Orleans could have they had the bird rights to him. We understand that. But at the same time, we could have made a better opportunity to wait until at the end of the season to get Anthony Davis and still had some of our young players still here. Lonzo Ball, Kyle Kuzma, Julius Randle probably would have left because they offered Julius Randle to stay, but he seen LeBron James coming. Him and LeBron James had almost similar type of game. They both got the ball in their hand. So it's probably been much smarter for Julius Randle to leave. I'm kind of sick of my man, the bully beast. But yeah, I understand why he left. But you still had Lonzo Ball, Kyle Kuzma, and Brandon Ingram. All 3 individuals you still, I'm going to put that hand up. All 3 individuals you still could have had along with LeBron James. And be honest with you, with those 3 and LeBron James, even if they didn't get Davis, they would have had a better chance of doing, because you still had Ivica Zubac too. And you would have had a better chance, and beyond, but they still had Jordan Clarkson. They traded Jordan Clarkson before they got LeBron. Yeah, before they got LeBron. They had to do that in order to get Wichcombe, but they could have kept Jordan Clarkson too. So you had a better chance to keep all them young players and still bring LeBron over here. And I was saying it before, if LeBron James would have won a championship with those young players, I don't believe in the word or the term GOAT, but he would have been right there dot to dot with Michael Jordan, because he took a bunch of young players to the finals and won a chip. But because he was anxious, and that's when Jeanie Buss came and said that, hey, this is a Jeanie Buss-led a Buss-led organization. We're not going to let you just come in and do what you want. Because remember, he wanted Ty Lue, but the Ramesses decided to say, no, get Vogel, because that's their man. You know what I'm saying? And just like when he wanted Carmelo, LeBron wanted Carmelo to come when Carmelo was free. Like I told y'all, Phil Jackson got into Jeanie Buss' head and say, look, no, don't bring him. He ego. And she listened to him. That's why Carmelo didn't come that first time. You know what I'm saying? But the whole point of LeBron coming was going to basically sub shop to do what he want here in LA. He wanted Ty Lue. They didn't get Ty Lue. So he said Ty Lue, Jason Kidd. They decided with Jason Kidd. Jason Kidd came only on the strength thinking that if Vogel gone, he'll be the next head coach. That's why when the opportunity came about for him to be the next head coach, he jumped up out of here. Because he both been the next head coach after Vogel. Vogel was Jeanie Buss' idea based on the Ramesses. It wasn't LeBron. It was strictly Jeanie. But I know, like I said before, the reason why LeBron wanted Ty Lue, because he can basically run Ty Lue. That's the same reason why he wanted him in Cleveland. But, like I said, fans, y'all think whatever y'all want to think, man. But I see beyond the burden beyond the board of a whole lot of stuff. But let me finish listening to Jalen Rose, because he basically said everything I said in my old video a while back.
Invest right now into a team to win it all, but when you're the Lakers and you already have 17, it's easy to take that for granted. So, this team is already being invested in.
It sounds like you and Stephen A are saying they really can't make a move, which LeBron, I'm going to say LeBron,
correct,
has made before.
Correct.
2017-18, they switched the whole team. Can't do it.
No, sir.
Not enough assets to do it.
They've already maxed out what they could do with this roster. You have LeBron James. He's still top 5.
But they will
have
not.
Anthony Davis. He's still top 10.
The point that I'm making is they will not just sit by and accept that, right? You've got LeBron James towards the end of his career, and they are the Lakers. They're going to have to do something. Maybe they change the coach, or maybe they try and make players.
First of all of us are real. You do a great job. You know how real you're not, even though you're one of the nicest people in the world. So you saying something critical about somebody, it's always a shot. This man is just the Pope, okay? I mean, get it much nicer than him. Jalen's a bit more mean-spirited, okay? But nobody tops me. Nobody tops me in that category. And let me be very, very clear. What other choice do you have? I want to emphasize again. I'm not advocating for Vogel to be fired. I'm not saying that's what Pelinka and Jeanie Buss are planning to do. What I'm saying is, just like Jalen pointed out, Kuzma's gone, Brandon Ingram's gone, Lonzo Ball is gone, Julius Randle's gone. Look at the
Stephen A. Smith, you one of the main ones talking about trade him. You were the main one talking about trade him. You were the main one talking about go get Anthony Davis. Go get him. Trade him away. Trade him away. LeBron there. You got to trade him. But now, because things are not working out in your favor, according to ratings, because that's the whole thing in the initiative. That's what they care about, ratings. That's why they talk about it, because the Lakers are always going to be that top topic in these segments on ESPN and Fox and all the rest of these sports channels. And LeBron James in the top 5 as well. So because they're not living up to the expectations of what the ESPN and Fox and all of them are saying, so yeah, they're going to say all this stuff. But I said this a while ago, man. I've been said it, but like I said, fans ridicule me. Oh no, Irvin, you're going to make the move, this and that. I told people, all you're going to get is one ring. And you got that ring during the bubble. And I believe, and I tell you over and over again, I believe if there was no such thing as COVID, the Lakers probably would have probably not even won that year. But because everything was in this turmoil, players weren't in their right state of mind. Milwaukee definitely wasn't in their right state of mind. I mean, if you watch the Milwaukee game, they were not even playing according to what they played before the COVID hit. Because before the COVID hit, they were playing pretty good. Then when the COVID hit, they might well end the game. Matter of fact, they were going to throw a game for Orlando just for the simple fact of what happened in Milwaukee. Until Milwaukee got a swift of it. I mean, Orlando got a swift of it. And then the other teams got a swift of it. You know what I'm saying? But in reality of it, they might want to end the game. If you watch Milwaukee play during the bubble, they want to end the game. And if you watch them the next year, you see a totally different team compared to what you've seen in that bubble. A lot of them teams weren't playing like they were playing in the bubble because they were too worried about this pandemic that's going on in the earth. And that's what people fail to realize. But, people that are biased, they're not looking at that saying, well, hey, well, they still got to play ball. Man, they're human beings. People, families are dying. Like, come on, man. You know what I'm saying? So people's mind wasn't even into the game. They were worrying about COVID, if I'm going to have it or not. So at the end of the day, you got to understand all that, and people fail to realize that. But it is what it is. Let me see what else they got to say before I turn this off.
Where else do you go? You gotta look at the coach. And when the coach is patting himself on the back because I gave them a motivational speech just a few nights ago, and then they turn around and lose the next game, you got problems, and you're gonna have to do something about it, and that's what it's gonna take.
Coaching the Lakers is like coaching USC or coaching Notre Dame. That's a blank check. And the Lakers ain't about the right
for different teams or players. What is your biggest?
Boy, it's almost something else now. Now, here's the thing. This is my own opinion. Even with what they got right now, it still can work. The biggest problem is, number one, egos. Got to remove the egos. Westbrook was brought here, like I said in my last video, Westbrook was brought here for the simple fact to basically be the point guard. And LeBron James said he's going to feed off Westbrook. We've seen it a couple times when Westbrook first started out. Because remember, one thing about Westbrook, if you actually watch his career, when he go to new teams, it takes him a while to adjust. He be real radical. He turns the ball over a lot. But once he start to get the floor of the game, the floor of the players, and their strength and weakness, you start to see the turnover start to slow down a little bit. But when he first started off, he started real rusty. And I think LeBron James, not being patient, had to take the ball out of his hand a couple times. You know what I'm saying? And he brought the ball down a lot. And the thing about it is this. Once you allow Westbrook to actually bring the ball down and they move the ball, LeBron's still going to get his touches. But if they move the ball around, it still can work. The biggest problem is about ball movement. That's the main thing. Ball movement. You see it. Some games, you actually see them when they actually are moving the ball really well. Then it's freaking possession time where it's just bring up the court, one pass, shot. Bring up the court, one pass, shot. Bring up the court, shot. No ball movement. You know what I'm saying? But when the ball is moving well, the Lakers are really hard to defend. When they got the right people on the floor, should I say as well. But it can work if LeBron James step back a little bit and actually play either a power forward or a small forward, however you want to call it, whatever you want to play, and play a small forward, power forward. I think he still plays small forward. He still be a small forward. There's nothing wrong. He still can move around pretty good. He played a small forward, let Westbrook bring the ball up the court, and he feed off of Westbrook. They move around a little bit, get better shots. It can work. He still can get the ball, still can play his role as a small forward, like Magic Johnson did when he came back to LA after, he was hit with the virus. When Magic Johnson came back, he played the power forward spot. He played power forward, but he let was it? I think Nick Maxwell was there then. Was it Nick Maxwell? I forgot. There was a Cell 3. I forgot. But he let him bring the ball to the court. And then Magic Johnson they would feed off Matt. They would throw the ball to Magic. He would feed off of the point guard. Sometimes you'll see him bring it up, but majority of the time it was the point guard bringing it up. That's the same thing LeBron James can do. It can work. But at the same time, they just have to... Whoa, Ray, slip the phone. At the same time, they have to acknowledge the hot hand. It's not about you scoring 25 points and being that man to win the game. It's about the hot hand. If that individual's hot, you find opportunities to get that person the ball, especially when you got one of them pure shooters like Malik Monk that get hot. You got to keep feeding them. You can't let them get cold. You got to feed them. And that's what most teams do. If you ever notice real point guards, when they notice a hot player, they will always find that hot player until that hot player start to sizzle off. That's the true point guard. I know a lot of people say, well, Westbrook and LeBron are good passers. Yeah, they're good passers, but they're not as in acknowledging good players. No, because they're more focused on getting their buckets too. When they're focused on delivering the ball to a hot player, that's when you know that they're that elite level. Watch if you ever get a chance, watch Lonzo Ball. When Lonzo Ball was here, that's when Kyle Kuzma had his best seasons. When Lonzo Ball was here, Lonzo Ball knew how good Kyle Kuzma was, and he knew how to give him the ball at the right spots. Lonzo Ball elevated that team, the Lakers team, up to another notch. Even though they weren't winning a lot because he was still young, and plus Lonzo Ball was constantly getting hurt, but he was giving Kuzma a lot of opportunities to get good shots. And he felt them when he was hot. When Brandon Ingram was hot, he was feeding Brandon Ingram. You know what I mean? Whoever was hot, Lonzo Ball was hitting him up. But the coaches always had a habit of sitting that hot hand down. They always do that. But anyway, like I said, it can work because we got to deal with the rest of the season. We made the decision to go get Westbrook. We all in now. We can't sit there and start bickering and crying like, oh, we should do this, we should do that. It's too late. We're Laker fans. You know what I mean? We got to deal with what the hand that's dealt to us and take it to our opportunity to basically utilize what we got. But it can work if the Lakers just remove the ego. And like I said, number one, ball movement and rotation. Ball movement and rotation. Ego, ball movement, rotation. Our top players got to kill the egos. Stop worrying about trying to get their points to look good on the stats. You know what I mean? Number two, ball movement. Feed the hot hand. Move the ball around. Start with Anthony Davis. If you brought Davis here to be that man, then he got to be that man. Not LeBron. Davis. Because without Davis, LeBron wouldn't win the championship. Let's be honest. Just like without Kyrie Irving, LeBron wouldn't won the championship. Let's be honest. We can go on down and down. And it's not like I hate LeBron. I love the man. You know what I'm saying? Especially off the court and the things he does off the court. But on the court, in order to win, it's team ball. You want to win, that means you got to sacrifice your game for the greater good in order to win. You know what I mean? Now look at the Greek Freak. Greek Freak is a whole different animal. You know what I'm saying? You know, I don't even want to talk about him because that's who I really wanted before Anthony Davis. I'm going to keep it real with y'all. When we were told to get rid of young players, I said the only player I will trade all the young players for is Greek Freak. Because he's a fine specimen of somebody that's a retro player who played physical down low. I love players who play physical down low. I love that. All that finesse stuff, shooting threes. I ain't got time for that, man. Go down low and bang bodies, man. Get, that monster stuff. That's what I'm about. But anyway, like I said, we have to do what the hand is dealt, and it still can work. I know a lot of these, analysts are talking like, oh, they're not going to make this, they're not going to do that and that. Listen, the Lakers can beat all the odds if they just play within their limits and play as a team. That's the whole thing. No ISO ball, play as a team. Not no 1-2 pop. You know what I mean? Just 2-player pop. Point guard bring it down or small forward bring it down and give it to the other guy. He shoot it or vice versa or that person shoot it. No, pass the ball around. Give other people opportunity, chance to score. You know what I mean? Don't force a lot of shots. You got 5 minutes on the court. There's no reason to take a shot with 3 people on you. Kobe not on the floor no more. Michael Jordan not there. So pass the rock around. It can work. But that being said, your man, Urban Lover, like shit, subscribe, get in the comment section. Now they crying. Oh, they should never get with the young players. Don't cry now, mother freakers. You should have did that back before we did that with Anthony Davis. Don't want to hear it now. We got Westbrook. Let's deal with it.